Good evening, everybody. It is Monday night, my friends, and I'm back. And we're gonna hopefully pick up some coding stuff to do tonight. We got some more chat things to work on. Welcome on, everybody. Welcome. We had a good breakthrough on Saturday, where we've got the YouTube chat bringing back emotes and stuff. I just having some issues with the JavaScript, which I think is relatively. I'm pretty sure I just did something boneheaded there, and I just have to fix that. So. We can do that. The other thing is the date formatting. I was thinking about it, and I think I will do the date formatting in the Java code and then just pass it up as a already formatted date. That way, hopefully, I'll be able to incorporate the appropriate formatting and stuff for whatever locale your system is set for. We'll see. I mean, but I can at least, for the moment, I can at least do it, and also time zone, because I wanted to incorporate that into it, because I think the time it's giving you now, if I'm not mistaken, is UTC. So we'll see. But anyway, hope everyone's been doing well. Hope you've all had a good weekend and a good start to your week, and all of that stuff. So, excuse me. Today's been one of those days where I've gotten things done, but not the things I thought I was going to get done. I've done a lot of running around today. I had to get some blood work today, and ordinarily, like, I know blood work's not like a huge big deal, and I don't have any problems with like needles or anything like that. But they always struggle to get blood out of me. And it's almost become unfortunate, right? Because, like, I'll go in there and I'll tell them straight out, I'm like, I hate to inform you of this, but you're going to have some trouble getting blood out of me, because everybody has trouble getting blood out of me. And they're always optimistic. And I feel like I crush their dreams every time I go in there. And I don't intend to. It's just, I'm kind of starting to feel bad about it. Because, the lady today was like, oh yeah, no, it's fine. They bring me in when they can't get blood out of people and everything. I'm like, well, we'll see how this goes in the next 10 minutes. And suffice to say, did not go well. They had to stick me 4 times before they finally got to, and it was only for 1 vial. They only needed 1 vial. Hey, Premier, welcome. You get sleepy after blood taken out? I don't have any real problem at all. Even when they stick me, like they usually have to go digging around, and a lot of people that just, like, the pain goes off the charts when they start digging around trying to find a vein. I'm just like, whatever, it's fine. Just keep doing what you gotta do. So I don't have any particular problems with it. It's just like, after a while, it does get annoying when it's like you come walking out of the office and you've got 4 cotton swabs taped all over your body, one on each arm and two on your hand. It's just, it gets kind of it gets kind of comical, I guess, towards at some point. Um, but and the worst part of it is like I will have, even though they didn't manage to get any blood out of my arms, I'm still going to be bruised for days probably out of that. And they're so worried about like, oh, you're gonna have like a giant bruise on your hand where we took it out. I'm like, you know what? Like at this point, that's just par for the course. At this point, I planned for that coming in. You know, you make them use the same spot. If not, you refuse for them to take it. Really? Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I told her this. I was like, it's never the same spot for me where they actually manage to get blood, right? So I said like, if there was one sweet spot, I would get a tattoo with a bullseye and say, here, go there. But there isn't. It's always a different spot that they find. So it's like, it is what it is, right? I mean, they like when I went to the emergency room, I kid you not, there was like they had to bring in like 4 different nurses to get an IV run on me because nobody could find a vein to tap into. It is what it is. It is what it is. Some people have it, and it's funny because like there was a little old lady that came in at the same time that I was there, and she was in and out in like 30 seconds. Like they got her done real fast, and I'm in there like 10 minutes and her struggling. Yeah, mystery veins. Yeah, exactly. It's like they randomize themselves every time someone tries to, I've got like Schrodinger's veins. They're there and they're not there. It's just pretty, I mean, there's nothing you can do about it other than to laugh about it. I know that there's a bunch of nurses that are like really upset that they have to stick me that many times, but it's like, I'm like, look, it's always this way. This is not my first rodeo. Oh man, but it is a thing. I do feel bad though that they're all very optimistic when they start, and then they all get their hopes and dreams crushed. Though interestingly enough, I learned today, I did not know this was a thing. Um, they're only supposed to stick you twice, and then they're supposed to give up if they can't do it. That has never been the case for me. It's always been like, oh yeah, well we didn't get you twice, so let's try 3, 4, and 5 times. But I guess maybe it was like a single person maybe isn't supposed to do more than twice. Then they have to bring in help to do a sticky again. I guess I don't know. I don't know how that works, but that was an interesting piece of information I did not have prior to that. So, but yeah, it is what it is. So we're processing emoji. Where do I pull the date at? Oh, here it is. Process timestamp. Parse long. Timestamp string. Okay, so that's the timestamp. So what I want to do, I want to keep that intact. You got pachydermatoctally, mainly thick skin. I'm trying to find the needle. It's funny. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just one of those things. I don't know. Some people are just I guess I'm just one of those difficult ones, you know? It's not like I'm trying to be difficult. It's just, I would love to just get in and out. There is the rare occasion where I walk in, they stick me the first time and I get it, and then I'm out, you know? Uh, bing, bam, boom, we're done. But it's very rare. It's very, very rare. So I don't know. But hopefully after this one, the doctor won't need another one for a while. I mean, I've had what, like 5 or 6 of them this year, and it since February. So I mean, it's like I'm not sure how many more tests they want to run on my blood, but you know, it's not like they're lacking data at this point. Yeah, I want to add. So let's add we got a timestamp. I'm going to keep the YouTube timestamp there, but I'm going to do message time. Do that. Message date time. Call that. Skin stiff and takes a long time to make the skin soft. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. It's just kind of the way they roll. It's the way I guess maybe my skin is a little too soft or a little too loose, maybe. And so they see, it's kind of like looking through the water, like the water in a pool or something, you know, like a pool of water. It's like you see where the vein is, but then you go hunting for it and it's not there. You know what I mean? So it might be just a case of like, you know, I don't know if my skin's too soft or it's just too loose or what it is. They just seem to struggle with it. Oof. Okay. So we've got that there. Then here where I parse it. So this is a component, which is good because I can inject I guess I inject a locale into here. Let's see, base, front end controller. Yeah, locale resolver. I use this to do locale resolver, get locale. And yeah, that'll work. That'll work. Do that. That in there. Do they not know where the main vein is? I think the problem is they're trying not to hit the main vein because it would be too much pressure. Like they just need a little bit of blood to go. So I think they're trying to find like the smaller branch veins. And also if they hit like a bigger vein, it would probably, they'd have a little bit of a blowout too, probably, and you'd end up getting a really big bruise from it. So they're trying to like find like little tiny veins, I think, that have enough pressure in them to fill a vial, but not enough to cause a whole lot of it. Because I think when they do like an IV and stuff, they find a larger vein because they have a larger needle when they do it. I think I'm not entirely sure. I think their whole goal is to not leave you with like a bruise at the end of the day. And I think that's why they're trying to go for like the smaller branch veins. But I really don't know. That'd be an interesting question for like a nurse or something. Like, what is the thought process behind it? Because sure, yeah, I got plenty of like veins that you can see that are rather large, and obviously your arms have an artery going through them. At least one arm does. So I mean, but whether or not that causes complications or not, I assume it causes some kind of complication. I'm not sure. You know what I mean? You find it fascinating stuff. Yeah, I do too. I do have a little bit of a fascination with the why of things. Like why, what makes you do this versus this other thing. And I think it has a lot to do with that. I think it has a lot to do with just, they also don't want to, like, a lot of people are afraid of needles and stuff too. So it might be something to do with that as well, where they want to find the least tender spot they can, so that if you do like jerk your hand or something out of fear, you're not going to damage yourself more than necessary. So it could be a little bit of that as well. I don't know. I really don't know. It was pretty interesting though. I had a dermatologist appointment last week, and they did a biopsy on a mole that I had on my foot. And they're like, yeah, so it was like the back of my foot, like my Achilles heel had it. And they the nurse was numbing the area, and she's like, please, whatever you do, don't kick me. I'm like, you don't have to worry about it. Like, I'm not gonna move. She's like, this is gonna hurt, and please don't kick me. I'm like, it'll be fine. You'll be fine. Yeah. So that, I don't know. I don't know how the doctor, I guess when you've done something enough, it doesn't affect you. But when they burn like a mole off and stuff, boy, that burning smell, I don't think I'll ever get used to that. And the doctor just, boop, 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 done. Like, I mean, I guess she does it 20 times a day probably. But I don't know how you ever like acclimate to that particular smell. It's crazy. It's crazy. But good news on that. That was benign. So that was all good stuff there. Because I love when like the doctor will ask you like, so how long have you had that? I'll be like, yeah, like 20 years. Like, I don't like the look of it. We're gonna remove it. It's like, okay. And then like 3 days later, you get the call. Yeah, it was benign. It's like, well, I would hope so. I've had it for like 20 years and it's never changed. So, you know, I'd like to think, I'd like to think that there was nothing wrong with it. You know. Oh. So so it was yeah. Okay, so what we want to do is I want to do I guess instant dot of epoch milli. Yeah, not epoch second, epoch milli. And it would be let's do this so I don't have to dig back into that. Do long timestamp. And so it'd be timestamp divided by 1,000, right? That's what I did in the JavaScript, I believe. I think it was micro instead of milliseconds. Where's the JavaScript at now? It must be this. Yeah, timestamp divided by 1,000. Okay. So did I wait a minute? Did I do that right? Yeah. I did that right. You get, though, it's scary for some people. I'll have a one-on-one conference with a nurse talking about the veins of blood. Yeah. Yeah, there's some interesting information there that I think would be just helpful for general public to know, you know? Like, how much water do they want you to drink before you come and get your blood work? Because they keep accusing me of not drinking enough, and I'm like, I don't know how much more you want me to drink before I come. I don't think it's going to matter how much more I do. I mean, that would be one thing, and there's a couple other things too. And there's other like, I guess, more specialized information that would still be useful at some point in your life. Like when I was a kid, I had an incident where I had a high fever and went into like convulsions and stuff. And my mom just out of the blue like tossed me in a tub full of cold water. And the the doctors afterwards said like that was the best thing she could have done. Like that probably saved me from any kind of long-term problems from that. And it's just like one of those things where it's like little bits of information like that could actually, you may never end up using that information, but it's so important to have, Drink around 100 ounces of water throughout the day. Yeah, I've heard, I forget it was like, it's not 2 liters. Is it 2 liters? I forget exactly how many it was, and I had it measured out at one point, and I was drinking that, and it was like, yeah, I mean, I get it, but it's like between that and taking a water pill, I would never be at my desk. I'd always I'd always be running to the bathroom, you know? Like, I mean, there comes a point where, I mean, you basically are drinking water every 5 minutes at that point. Yeah. And you're going to the restroom every hour on the hour. It's like, ugh. Like, at some point, something's got to give. So that gives me an instance. So I get an instant from that. And then I want to format this. So I got to remember how to do date formatting here because it's been forever and a day. So I can use simple date format, right? I guess simple date format will work. Well, that is it is kind of the old way of doing it. I think I don't know if it's changed since then, but let's see. Let me see. Private static final simple date format. As you start choosing date format, okay, simple date format. Uh-oh. Ugh. What am I doing here? Date format. New simple date format. And I gotta do, let's see. Doing it for a few years, I'm quite used to it. Yeah, that's kind of what I gotta do. You gotta kind of just get into the habit. I am a creature of habit, and that is just one of the things I need to do. Pattern. What is the? Didn't they have the pattern on here somewhere? Yeah, here we go. It's so I need Hey, dude, oh, come on in. Like you're on an elevator. My choice of music. Well, this is all game music. It is all video game remixes. Terrible. Well, some of them are a little bit out there, but some of them are pretty good. You just got to have a better appreciation for video game music. That's all. What am I looking for? I'm looking for. So it'd be something here. Okay, so it's capital M, so it's MMM. Lowercase dd, and then lowercase yy. All right, so it's MMM dd. I don't want to do this. dd. Do I want it like the compact format? Yeah, I think just, I don't even think I need the year there. So do that. And then we want, what was it, second? Use the Elder Scrolls soundtrack. I have used it. There's a whole there's a video on YouTube. You do a search for Peace in Tamriel, and it's just a bunch of Elder Scrolls music back to back to back, the world music. It's pretty good. It's pretty good for focusing. Have here. So I need hour in AM PM. Lowercase h h m s s. Okay. h h m s s. And then that should be, where's the, I think it's A is the AM PM. AM PM markers A. Okay. All right. The ball and chain says hi. I thought the old ball and chain had sent another package, because there was a Amazon package on my doorstep this morning when I went out to get my blood drawn, and I was in a rush, so I just kind of pulled it in and just put it on the bench. And I came back and I looked at it, I was like, oh wait, no, this is next door's. So I went out and put it on next door's doorstep. I thought she forgot to tell me. How do code? Do you stay on the same line until it's finished and move on to the next one, or skip around? I stick to whatever's last in my brain. So like, I'll skip around a little bit, but a lot of times I'll just a lot of times if I can't finish a line, like because I need something else, I'll put like a to do comment on it or something. You know what I mean? She'll have one before I come over. Okay. Hey, that's fine. That's fine. I got no problem with that. At least you know it'll get here and it'll be fine. It'll be in one piece. So, yeah, like if I can't finish a particular line, or if I'm in a block of code that I'm working on, I'll just throw a to do on it so I can jump back to it. But a lot of times you can at least partially finish a line and then just kind of jump around and get to all the different things you need to do. I do use the keyboard shortcuts. I use them a lot. So for Eclipse here, Alt and left and Alt and right go back to the last line you're on and forward to the previous line you're on. So it's like they go, you use that to jump back and forward to where you were, even between files. So I use that a lot. And there's a similar one in like IntelliJ and other things like that. But yeah, I do that a lot because that helps me just kind of jump immediately back to where I was doing something. So this takes a locale, I think, as the second parameter. Where are you at? Yeah, you're not going to tell me, are you? Oh, bastard. You're not going to tell me now. Date format symbols. Yeah, locale. Okay, so I want to do locale resolver. Oh, no. Okay. Hang this down here. Oh, I'm not going to be able to reference that because it's got to be static. Well, I could make this static. Because this is only a... Can I make this static? Yeah, I guess I can make this static. So this would be locale, resolver. Oh, I gotta resolve it from the request. Damn it. Damn it. Can't do it that way. I can't do it, Captain. Well, I can create... I could still create the simple date format, right? Can this take a compiled pattern? String pattern, string pattern, string pattern. Nope, can't. Okay. All right, dude. Have a good night. I'll see you. Do they not use number encoding anymore, like 90? No, not really anymore. No. It's just, it is what it is. I mean, that's why I use an IDE for a lot of things, because the IDE just kind of helps you keep straight. And then if it really gets like weird, like I can do a split view, so I can open the same file up twice and then manipulate both halves of it. Like if I'm going to jump to the top all the time, I can keep it open in one tab and then open another one, split the view, and then be working at the top and at the bottom at the same time. But that's only when you're kind of jumping back and forth a lot. If you're just doing like variables and stuff, it's usually not a big deal. This constructor may not support all locales. For full coverage, use the factory methods in date format class. I don't want to... That takes a... So I can't really use locale resolver because that takes a... That needs a thing. I mean, I can and I can't. I should use it, but I would have to pass it in. I'd have to pass it in a... servlet request, which I don't really want to do because this is coming in as an event. I mean, the only other thing I can do is pass the actual locale in, I guess. Our YouTube chat event. I think that's what I might have to do. Let's see if I can... I wonder if I can pass a locale. How do I do this? Can I guess I could probably pass a locale. 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 Generic getters and setters. I mean, the worst that can happen here is that locale is not serializable. Alright, so then that would let me make the date format. And I can go set private locale. Now equals event get locale. Just put it there for the moment. So if I'm down here, so date format. Set time zone, set. I can't set the locale after I've made it. I had a feeling that would be a problem. Huh. Event stuff is tricky. Yeah, it's tricky in that it's not. It doesn't have access to all the same stuff unless I pass it stuff from the controller and whatnot. I can set time zone. But that's not really what I'm looking for. Get date instance. Gets the date formatter with the given formatting style for the given locale. Okay. Get date time instance. Date formatting style, time formatting style. I don't like the implications of that though. Because that means it's ignoring the format I just gave it. Yeah, I don't want to be creating it every time if I can help it. So I think what I'm going to do is we're going to put a public void init And I'm gonna make this a, what is it called? Post construct. Jakarta annotation? Is that? Yeah, I guess that, yeah. But if I do that, it's only going to be... I'm not going to have access to the locale if I do that. Do I use Linux? Been trying to switch. Any idea? My dev box here that I'm on right now is Linux. This is Ubuntu. So it's Ubuntu with the KDE front end. And I just did that because it's just simple. Like most stuff just kind of works with it. That was my only real goal, was to just get something that runs and works, and I don't generally have to mess with it too much. KDE, the Plasma front end is okay. It does, as a daily driver, it can be a little bit of a pain in the ass, because if you're like on a laptop or something and you're plugging in and unplugging from a big monitor, it doesn't always remember, like it doesn't always remember the correct windows, like where to put the windows on the screen and stuff like that. So like if you have a multi-monitor set up and you're constantly plugging and unplugging from it, that can cause annoyances. But if you have like a desktop and something and your setup doesn't really change that much, it'll work fine. There's a couple different distros out there that people seem to like. If you're looking for something a little more gaming centric, there's Pop! OS. A lot of the stuff is based off of Ubuntu. So like Pop! OS, I think, is based off of Ubuntu, which itself is based off of Debian. And I mean, you got vanilla Ubuntu, which has the GNOME desktop, which looks a little bit more like a Mac desktop. There's what was the other one? There's a Cinnamon desktop, which looks a little bit cleaner than KDE does, as far as like if you want something that looks more like Windows. So yeah, the Cinnamon desktop for that. So there's a bunch of things. There's a whole like you can look at the popular distros. I think it's Distro Watch. Yeah, this gives you an idea of like the more popular ones. Unity desktop, I don't know what that is. Ubuntu is up at the top for a lot of things. Oh, there's an Ubuntu Cinnamon. Oh, that's interesting. That's different. Xubuntu, Lubuntu. Here's regular plain old Ubuntu. And then here's Kubuntu, which I'm using. And then over here you've got like the popular things. So you got MX Linux, Mint, Ubuntu, Manjaro, Fedora. There's Pop! OS here. What's another one? I don't know how good Kali is. Alpine I've heard about. I think Puppy is like a really watered down version that's just really small for if you just don't want all the all kinds of crap on there. You built a computer tower, but you didn't have it in mind at the time. I think one of the nice things is, like, I think NVIDIA finally is on board with supporting Linux now. So, and AMD is always really supported it. So depending on what video card you have, if you have AMD, you'll be perfectly okay. If you've got NVIDIA, even then you'll probably be all right. I'm not sure about the Intel video cards, how well they're supported on Linux, but yeah. Oh wow, Slackware is still up there in the top 50. Holy crap, that's crazy. I played with Slackware way back in the day. Ubuntu Studio. Yeah, a lot of these, I mean, if you stick to things that are kind of up towards the top here, as far as distros go, you're probably fine. For the most part. You'll get some really decent support and everything. I mean, there's a lot of people, surprisingly enough, who are just doing plain old Debian. Which is... The advantage of doing just plain old Debian is that you're getting more up-to-date packages and stuff. Because what happens is, Debian will update, and then it takes sometimes years for all the other packages that are branches of Debian to start to bring down new code and stuff like that. So you can end up getting stable stuff a lot faster than someone on Ubuntu would say. MX Linux, is that the... Yeah, this is also based on Debian, their stable branch. This uses XFCE as a default desktop, which is, if I recall correctly, XFCE was a really, really watered down desktop, but it looks like over the years here, it's actually gotten more functionality. Like this actually looks closer to like Windows 10 look and feel. From what I can see here. So that's pretty cool. That might be something I might take a look at some point. I'm just kind of, since I'm also running on a Microsoft Surface tablet, and because of that, I've got a special kernel patch thing that is maintained by the community to make some of the stuff on the Surface tablet work with Linux, because it doesn't out of the box. So I've been also kind of sticking with like Ubuntu and stuff, because I feel like it's less likely to cause me problems with that. But yeah, I mean, oh, I wonder if this... Okay, so this has got XFCE, KDE Plasma, and Fluxbox on it. I wonder if that's just Fluxbox that I'm looking at there in the screenshot. They don't really tell you. I mean, that could be KDE Plasma too. It looks kind of like KDE. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, there's a lot. I mean, it really depends on what you want to do. Like, a lot of people want to be on the bleeding edge of stuff, and they don't mind having to tweak stuff constantly. Me, I'm just like, you know what? I just want something that just kind of works. and I don't have to deal with it too much. And, you know, that's why it's like, we need more Linux distros that are kind of just like hands off, right? You just kind of come in, they just work. You've got all your productivity tools. You can plug and unplug monitors at will, and it will figure it out properly, and just like stuff like that. And once you get something that just kind of works, and you don't have to fiddle with it every time you do an update or anything like that, you don't have constant updates that are just breaking things. Then we can finally start having a discussion about Linux daily drivers, because right now it's like you can daily drive Linux. It's certainly very possible, but you have to plan for those days where you're just gonna boot up and just nothing's gonna work, or you're gonna do an update and just everything is a pain in the butt. You know, things that worked well suddenly don't. Oh. All right, let's see. With the NVIDIA GeForce, you don't want anything high maintenance, yeah. Well, NVIDIA started to finally fully support Linux now, so that's good stuff. For the longest time, it was just an absolute pain to get the NVIDIA video cards to work well on Linux. Like, they worked, but they were all supported by the community, and they were always kind of suspect, you know. So how I can't do this as an init then. I really don't want to create a new simple date format every freaking time I do this. I guess, okay. All right, well, we'll just have to do it. We'll have to do it this way then. We'll make it null. We'll say private static final string date format string. That, and then what I can do then is say, here's what we'll do. Get rid of all this. Yeah, no problem. No problem whatsoever. And I will say, init date formatter that gets locale okay. And here I'll say if date format is null, then date format, simple date format, date format string locale. Otherwise, don't do anything. So that's good. So we'll only initialize it once, which we only really need to do. Can you not make it a number, or would that complicate things? Well, it is a number already. So the way we get it from YouTube is it comes in as a number of microseconds since the epoch. And so I parse that out as a long, and then I'm dividing that by 1,000 so I can get the number of milliseconds since the epoch. And then all I really want to do then is, and I've already set that timestamp here. It's just the thing is, I don't want to do any date formatting in the JavaScript because it won't. I'll have to mess with JavaScript locales, and it just doesn't. It's not worth it. I would rather, since I know what your locale is at some point here, I can just kind of pass that in and just have it do that processing on the back end here, and then just give me a formatted string that looks halfway decent, and then the JavaScript doesn't have to do anything other than just pop it onto the screen. The whole thing that I was doing there was just making sure that I just didn't want to have to reinitialize that date formatter every single time through here, because we're going to get, you're going to get a lot of messages, and your locale is not really going to change from one message to the next probably. So there's no real point in constantly rebuilding that simple date format thing when all I really need to do is just keep reusing it. So then, so I want to do date format. And I want to format. Doing this right? Wait a minute. Did I do... what did I do here? Parse text. No, I don't want to do... No, this is wrong. I gotta do it the other way. So I have an instant, and then I want to... I want to take this, I want to make a string out of it. So I gotta do... Damn it, get away from it. How do I do this again? It's been an age since I've done this. Format. This takes a date though. It takes a date, not an instance. But it looks like it'll take it. Well, no, it's taking it as an object. Epic Millie, can I do a... Yeah. Ask for help here. How do I format an instance using simple date format? Format date objects, not instance objects. However, you convert an instance to a date and then format. Yeah, okay. Oh, that's right. There's a date from instance. That's what I was missing. Date from instance. Right, okay. I was like, I know I've done this before somehow. I just can't remember all the things. There we go. There we go. And then that should give me a string. Yes. So I should be able to do message event set message date time to that. Okay. So that should give me a little bit nicer date coming out the other side. So I can move this then, the message time here. And all we really need to do is say, is it not, it's not message, timestamp. So I gotta do data, instead of data timestamp, I gotta do data dot, crap. Message date time. Alright, and then we'll do, where the heck is it at? Okay, so this would be timestamp. Oh, good. We're getting some Jazz Jack Rabbit holiday hair. Okay, so that's the timestamp. Nice emojis. Okay. Message date time. So I need to then pass that locale in as part of the event. So that comes from accept routes here. I don't really have a locale here either, do I? Afraid of that. How would I get this? Well, this song been so long since I see people play it. Yeah, I know. It's been forever. One of the classic DOS games. Crap. Not sure. Because I don't have a... don't have a servlet request here to get the locale out of. This comes from... See, that's a service though, right? I passed the chat route interceptor in, right? It's a browser thread. It's chat browser. Would take it in here. And just do this and source generate. I guess we'll generate both the getter and the setter for it. So I can do routes, interceptor, set locale. So then, when I create the event, set the locale in there. So that just means that I have to pass this locale when I call launch chat browser, which I call from a controller, even though it doesn't, not showing up here, but I call this from a controller, right? Yeah, the home controller. Alright, so then in here, I just call, this has the front end controller, so I can just call get locale then, because I have a helper method for that there. So I'll get the locale out of the request. Now the tricky part here is these buttons aren't going to exist at some point in the future. So I'm just going to have to figure out how to... Still going to have to figure out how to get that locale in there. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Right now, we'll cross that bridge a little bit later. I might just end up just doing the system locale, and then that's just the way you get it, maybe, I don't know. Or it might behoove me just to I can make it a setting maybe, because I feel like there's going to be, I'm going to have chat settings at some point, like to change, like if you want to change the font and stuff, like that. So maybe I'll just incorporate the locale into the settings and put it in the database, and then I'll just be able to read that from the database directly and build a locale out of it. Maybe we'll end up doing that, but for now that'll do. Let's see where we're at with it. Oh wait, before I do that, I need to change. That. Where's my cursor at? Here it is. This. Copy that. Actually, you know what? Let's just copy the whole thing. I'll open that window up. All right, so we got this. And I'll take this ID then. And pop that here. All right, now projects, clean. All right, and then clean the work directory, and then start. All right, good. So come back over here. Start the browser test. And okay. Yeah, that's nice and formatted now. That's a lot better. That's a lot better formatting than it was. So that's good. And then now we got to figure out the JavaScript for pulling the emojis correctly. Let's see. So emoji map isn't right. Replace emojis. Message. All right. So emoji map for each. So I'm wondering if this doesn't support the way I think it supports it. So so what is it? It's JavaScript. Each associative array. So doing 4 key and array. We've got for each value, which I want the key and the value. So they got value index. People coming up with random other things that weren't part of the question. Let me see something. If I say here, let's see, given the JavaScript, given a JavaScript associative array, how can I loop over the keys using for each? Oh. Object keys. So it's just saying do object keys for each. I guess that would work. Because as long as I have the key, then I know how to get at it. So okay, that works. That's fine. So we'll do object keys for each K. So K in there, and then this would be emoji map K. Is that the only place I put it? I guess that's the only place I put it. Need more pillows. Getting cozy, eh? Let's see. Unit K. So if I come over to here now, and I just relaunch that page. Say tests. Again. Okay, so it's still bringing that back. Let me see here. So if I Updated message. Update message equals message. Update message equals message. Update message replace using the regex. That. All right, let's debug this. Let's debug this. Where's the page at here? So inspect sources. And index. Here we go. So I'll look at the JavaScript here somewhere. That page content. I'm not seeing it here. Why is this not showing up on the page? Where are we at here? Okay, so it's there. I see chat doc here, but I don't see it. I see it in here where I could put a breakpoint on stuff. What is going on here? Well, that sucks. Alright, I guess we'll have to do it the old-fashioned way. Let's do console log. Okay. Do that. And inspect. Just bring the console up here. All right. What did the console say? Console didn't log anything. Let me see something. Copy objects. Okay, let's see. So console log emoji map. Console log emoji map 0. Okay, and okay, it's not even getting into that method. So that's the problem. It's not even getting into here. So because it's probably not an array. Because it's object keys, right? So how do I tell? How do I check if a JavaScript associative array is defined and not empty? So to do an object keys length is greater than 0. Defined and object keys emoji map length is greater than 0. Let's try that. Oh, there we go. I got the emoji to load. Let's try hello world. This is a test. There it is. Although interestingly enough, they seem to put spaces between the words and the emojis in the YouTube chat. Huh. Okay. That's working. So that's good. That's now doing its thing, which I am happy about. So that's good stuff. All right, yeah. So I can take that. I can take those console logs out now. So that was I just wasn't testing appropriately for it. That's all there is to that. Okay, so that's now working respectably. Guess I could put. I could add a non-breaking space in there on either side of the emoji just to make it align with how YouTube does it. So if I come back in here, this is a test. Yeah, that's closer to how it shows up in here. All right. All right. And then, putting the rounded circle around, that's just some CSS around the actual image there, but it can always make that look nicer later. Right now I'm just happy that the data is there and it seems to be working, so good stuff. All right, so then I'll stop that right now so it's not constantly running in the background, and can start to investigate what it will take to get Twitch chat in there. So where are you begin? First of all, ooh, excuse me. We're actually getting kind of late anyway, so I might not go too far more afield tonight, but let's stop this and let's commit what I've got so I don't lose anything here. Team commit. Get that stuff. Homepage combined chat widget with working YouTube emojis and Message time. Timestamp. Formatting. Yeah, that's good. Cool. Let's get that out there right now. So what does it take to do? Where's the library at? Here we go. API Twitch for GA. So now I gotta look at. Gotta look at the chat. Here it is, chat. Twitch offers an IRC interface to chat functionality that allows you, for instance, do that. The library follows the official rate limits and will automatically space out your calls to comply with these limits. These limits include joining, leaving channels, sending messages, sending whispers, and opening new connections. Okay. Twitch client builder with enable chat with chat account. Commercial build. When specifying a chat account, it must be a user access token with the chat read scope. You also need the chat edit scope to be able to send messages. Alternatively, you can join chat anonymously in read-only mode by omitting with chat account. Okay. You build a Twitch client, Twitch for GA will automatically connect you to chat via WebSocket. So you can start joining channels and listening to messages after this. Refer to the methods documented above. Okay, join channel. Joins a channel on IRC and as such will receive any kind of events for that channel. Messages, subscriptions, bits. Okay. A join is stored as such will automatically rejoin channels in case there was a disconnect or similar. Okay. That works. Hit me. And then leave channel when you're done. Channel message event. The channel message event is triggered for every normal message in IRC. Note, /me messages fire a separate event, channel message action event. You can listen to that if you want a single event handler that receives both types of messages. Okay. Oof. It's a channel message event. Event manager on event. So every time I get an event, then this is where I would fire off my spring event handler to then combine it in with everything else. Okay. Private message is triggered for private messages, whispers, and can be triggered from pub sub or chat. Okay. So it's just another on event you do. Private message event. Gotcha. Send a message. Messages. Sends a message to a Twitch channel. The messages will go into a queue internally, so we won't hit the rate limit. This could cause some minor delays when sending a lot of messages. The queue will only be processed when we're connected to Twitch. Okay. Well, it looks simple and straightforward, but we'll see. So event sub, what What do we do here? Event sub when possible. Okay. Establish event sub subscription. Must obtain an instance of event subscription. Blah, blah, blah. Event sub. Due to Twitch restrictions, we create separate WebSockets for each user ID. If you're creating event socket subscriptions with tokens for many different users, it may be apt to switch to webhooks or conduits to avoid spawning too many WebSockets. So, conduit. Conduits are a wrapper transport type that simplify forward event sub notifications to other transports. Conduits are intended for server-side applications and utilize app access tokens to manage event subscriptions. Okay. Conduit can be associated with many event subscriptions. Event sub notifications trigger. Twitch decides which conduit shards will receive notification. Twitch will retry with one other shard. Conduits can be more resilient. If a standard WebSocket momentarily disconnects, all the event subscriptions must be recreated. If a standard webhook doesn't acknowledge notification, event subscription is disabled. When a WebSocket or webhook is associated with a conduit, these failures only disable the shard. Conduits, all the shards must be disabled for 72 hours before Twitch deletes the conduit. Avoid having more than one disabled WebSocket shard at a time, as event sub notifications could be dropped by Twitch. If webhook shards are used, Twitch will retry notifications for the given webhook, but will not retry across multiple shards. You can utilize conduit shard disabled topic to track when shards are disabled. Generally ignore this detail. These are simply authorized to your client ID with the appropriate scope so you can create zero cost subscriptions. The default max total cost is still 10,000. Sockets, distributed clients, multiple servers, switch conduit socket pool instance, how many WebSocket shards you like created, provide client authorization. Spawn each WebSocket, associate each WebSocket in a conduit, register to require subscriptions in conduit, and fire events as it receives event sub notifications. Okay. Okay, I mean, that seems like the way to go. Use their conduit stuff, but that's for event stuff, which we'll get into after we get the chat working. But it looks like the chat is fairly straightforward. Share chat. Twitch now allows creators using Stream Together to effectively merge their chat rooms together. In the future, Twitch will also allow shared chat sessions without mandating Stream Together usage. Upon joining a Stream Together session, a broadcaster has a limited window of time wherein they can opt out of shared chat. Yeah. From a user's perspective, the chat window includes more messages, and when they send a message, it's automatically shared with other channels. As messages arrive, the first party interface includes the profile picture of the channel the message is sourced from. Yeah. We drop mirrored messages have already been observed, so each unique message is only acted upon once. Each user message sent in one chat is mirrored to the other chats that share chat. Similarly, most user notifications are also shared with the other chat rooms in the session. Particular subs, resubs, sub gifts, community sub gifts, gift paid upgrades, prime paid upgrades, pay it forward gifts, incoming raids, and mod announcements are forwarded. Why? Why would you do that? See, that was the thing. Like, when I was looking at shared chat for Glimish, one of the things I had in my design doc was I would not is separating out chat messages that were just like this person has subscribed, this person has followed, blah 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 blah, right? Because there's no reason for that to be shared with the other chat rooms, like that with the other people who aren't in that channel. And it looks like Twitch is just like, fuck it, we'll spam everybody with that shit, which seems really wrong. I mean, really, really wrong. Now, that said, the next paragraph, when it comes to moderation actions, that was also something I was like, okay, yeah, if you moderate one chat, it should theoretically moderate it. If you ban somebody in one chat, this is basically the way they have it here. Like, if the deletion occurred in the source channel, once the shared chat session concludes, mirrored bans, timeouts, and warnings are automatically lifted. See, I wasn't going that far. I was saying, like, if you ban somebody from your chat that isn't in your chat but is in the shared chat, it would just stop them on your channel but not on the other channels from being seen. This one, it seems like they have it temporarily ban them from every chat, which I guess is a better way. Yeah, I don't know. It feels a little bit weird. It feels like that's ripe for accidental, for problems. But that's weird. Yeah. Share chats. How do I detect share chat messages? Implement the mirrorable event interface. Tells you whether the given event originally came from a different source channel. Then you can use that to obtain a true source channel. Further, you can use that to obtain the chat badges associated with the message in the source channel. When messages are mirrored, they are assigned a new message IDs. So you can obtain the original message ID via the get source message ID. Okay. When you receive a message, it could be directly sent to the channel you have joined, or it could be mirrored from another channel. Most moderation bots may not need to change their logic regarding acting upon user messages. If such a bot observes the same message twice, it may try to exclude duplicate moderation actions, but that is not a substantial concern. However, bots that respond to chat commands should avoid replying to duplicated shared messages. The simplest approach is to ignore chat commands where mirrorable event is mirrored as true. Yeah, I mean, basically, if you're a bot, you don't want someone else from a different chat controlling you at all. And I would say that's the same thing with the moderation bots too. You don't want a moderator from a different chat moderating this channel, because that doesn't make any sense. I mean, sure, you can have moderators that have permissions in both channels, but like, why even risk that? You know what I mean? Why even go through that? Just say, like, no, I accept no messages from you because you're not in the correct chat. You know, it's just weird. Which cases should I know about? Interesting. You know, it's a hell of a thing too that I've just learned more about how Twitch is implementing their shared chat from a from the Twitch for J library than I did from any kind of Twitch blog post. Like, no Twitch blog posts have ever gone into this amount of detail about how this stuff is working and how it works in all these different scenarios. And this is good information to have. It's not like this is difficult information to parse either. I mean, some of it is a little technical, but like, they could have easily written this up as a blog post and actually told people. So it's pretty hilarious that I'm learning more about it just from using a third-party library than from Twitch's horse's mouth. It's just craziness. Okay, so this is what we're going to be tackling Friday night, because I am out of gas as far as tonight is concerned. But we got, I mean, we didn't do a lot, but we got it working to a point where it looks halfway decent now. We got the formatting and stuff in there for the most part. We got using, reading the emotes properly and bringing the images down, and we've got a little bit more of an idea of what I need to do to get the chat stuff going. So with enable chat, yeah, this is going to be the interesting thing, is just trying to figure out how to incorporate that stuff right now. Also need the chat read and chat edit scopes when we do our OAuth exchange. So I'll have to update those as well. Okay. The only so it looks like it'd be pretty straightforward to be able to send Twitch chat messages. Sending the YouTube chat messages is going to be the pain in the butt. Because for that, we'll have to use the API. Which means we'll incur API credit costs and stuff like that, but I'm not as concerned, I guess, about that so much. And I don't have to do that right away. I mean, right now I'm happy with being able to read the chat. And then we'll figure out, like, later on I can figure out chat commands and stuff like that. I just want to be able to show chat right now. And then we can get into the nitty-gritty with chat bot stuff. After I get all the events and everything working. Plus, on the YouTube side, it looks like I'm going to have to, like, ping an endpoint to see if you're live, and then from that grab your live ID, and then use that to connect to the chat and stuff, which is not the end of the world, but it would have been nice if there was like a way to kind of see it, like have a page that's just up and running and then see those messages come down that way. But maybe there is. I'll have to do some more investigation there. What I'm more interested in now is to see if there's a way, like there's some other information coming down in those fetches on the chat, the YouTube chat. And I'm wondering if some of that will have like events in it, like someone subscribed, or pinned messages and stuff like that. Like I imagine some of that will be in there, and I might be able to utilize that for some of the YouTube events instead of having to go through the API to get all the events and polling the API for them. So I'll see what that. I need to look more at that to see what if anything comes down from that stuff that we can use, because that would benefit greatly. Benefit us greatly. I was also looking at Social Stream is a open source project out there that has all these integrations with like YouTube and stuff, and they don't use the YouTube API or anything like that. It doesn't look like they don't seem to use anybody's API. They just scrape from the web. So I might dig around in some of their code that's out there and see if I can see how they like grab events and stuff. Also, ChatGPT or GitHub Copilot, was actually pretty good at giving me some information about what to look for as far as like messages and stuff for YouTube. So, I might even hit that up and probably get some interesting answers there. But yeah, I think that'll do it. Hey, Duris. Read chat. You don't read chat. I do sometimes. How you doing, sir? How are you doing? I eventually get around to reading chat. I have to. It takes me a little bit. Takes me a little bit of time. But hey, I got YouTube chat working in the bot, so there's that. With emojis and stuff. So that part's going through. Oh, yeah. Hey, just go watch other streams of YouTube while I wait for you to finish all your reading. Yeah, it's that's the difficult part with a lot of this stuff, is that I'll start reading and just really getting into it and then not looking over. So when's this thing going to be done? That's the $1 million question there. I still got a long way to go. I'm hoping if I don't run into too many roadblocks, like I'm starting to get a lot of the fundamental stuff done, and stuff that I was worried about. I'm hoping that I'll have something for myself by the beginning of next year where I can start like using the bot myself and kicking the tires on it. And then maybe hopefully by the middle of next year, I can start to open it up and let others come in and play with it. We'll see. It really comes down to the biggest problem I'm having right now is having the energy to write the code. Yeah, early next year. Yeah, pretty much. Will Twitch still work the same by the time I finish? That's another good question. Will YouTube work the same? Who knows? Who knows? I am kind of fighting up an uphill battle there. Um, yeah. So I mean, that's about it. Like the biggest problem I have right now is that I've I've got a lot of stuff going on at work, and like I sit down to do some coding in this, and it's just like I just can't deal. It's like my brain just doesn't want to work because I'm tired from the day. So it's been a lot of just trying to struggle to like, you know, write the code for this and not be burned out from everything else going on. But yeah, because like in the day job right now, I just did a huge upgrade for our code base where it was like, we made a transition to like Spring 6 and stuff, which was just bonkers and a lot of just whack-a-mole. And now we're going to Java 21 tomorrow. So I've been testing that, and it's just like we got all these big things going on, and it's just like it's not they're not necessarily difficult things, they're just exhausting things, right? Like it's just, you fix one thing and then something else breaks, and you fix that thing and then something else breaks, and you fix that thing and then something else breaks, and you can't plan ahead for what's going to break because you just don't know until you do it, kind of a thing. So yeah, that's been the problem so far. It's just like, that's why like sometimes on Mondays and on Fridays I'm just like, you know what, I'm just gonna play a game tonight. I don't feel like writing code. It's because it's just like, just get tired of it sometimes, so that's really been the limiting factor right now, is that it's just me sitting down and doing stuff. Now that said, I have a bunch of vacation definitely coming up at the end of the year, and then I'm going to I haven't taken barely any time off this year because with all my health stuff and stuff, I've been like not sure when to take off, because I've been having to, like, during the middle of the day, like take an hour or two here to like go to doctors and stuff. So I haven't been taking like proper days off, which I think is also starting to like wear thin on me. So I'm going to try, like, in November, take a little extra time here and there, like take a couple long weekends. And then that'll give me a chance to like sit down and write some code on stream and not have other things on my mind at the time, Need to vacate. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, right? On the one hand, it's awesome to have unlimited PTO. On the other hand, you end up taking less PTO. And that's definitely been the case this year. Last year and the last couple of years, I've been really good about it, where I've been like, all right, 2 long weekends every month. Two Fridays off every month. And I would do that, and then have my normal like week-long vacation in July, and then have my normal week and a half or more at the end of the year. But like I said, with this year, with like all the health stuff, I kind of threw all that for a loop, because I was like, I still need to get work done, and I'm running around and doing this other stuff, and yeah, it's been rough from that perspective. Like, I can feel the fatigue from that. Do you have to use or lose PTO? I used to. So when we were So before the COVID times, we had use it or lose it PTO. You had to use. You could only carry over, I think, 2 weeks. You can only carry over a maximum of 2 weeks from one year to the next. And that was it. Like you couldn't, and it wasn't like accumulating 2 weeks. It was like literally just 2 weeks, like 14 days. Anything else you lost. So that's what we had there. And then I think we had, what did we have? We had like 20. So if you had less than 5 years of working at the company, you had 20 days, not including holidays. And then after 5 years, you got 25 days, not including holidays. The holidays you just get for free. Everybody gets the same holidays. For that region anyway. And then when COVID hit and everybody was working from home, they're just like, all right, unlimited PTO. And they've kept that, which is, like I said, good and bad at the same time. And it's actually honestly saving them money. That was the whole thing. They wanted to, the reason they switched is they wanted to save money. Because if you carry like if you have specific amounts of PTO, they had to pay it out. And I say had to in air quotes, because I've worked at a company that found a loophole to not pay out PTO. But these guys were forced to pay out PTO. And so by giving us unlimited, they no longer had to pay out PTO. So that was the whole motivation for it. They were trying to save a buck too. Now, a previous company I worked for, what they did was, and this was the loophole they came up with, they decided they didn't have to pay anybody's PTO out because you didn't accrue PTO until you used it. And that was their loophole. So you had like 20 PTO, but you didn't have it until you actually took it. So that way, you know, if you left the company, they didn't have to pay you out. And that was their way of getting around it. It's always surprising to me the lengths that companies go to just not pay out PTO. Just like, yeah, no, we're just not gonna do this. You know. So they came up, so some genius eventually came up with the unlimited PTO thing, which is, they're not the first ones to do it. Other companies have done it too. But they figured out that if you give people unlimited PTO, they end up using less than they would have if you gave them a specific amount and told them they were going to lose it if they didn't use it. So on the whole, they always have clauses in there. It's like, you know, you can't abuse it. You can't take, you know, a full month off and stuff like that without prior permission or without like a doctor's note or something like that. But, you know, it's the type of person that would abuse that wouldn't last very long in a tech company anyway, you know, because they're just not getting work done. Right? That's the whole point. Like, that's the way I've always looked at it. Is like, you know what? Who cares about PTO if you're getting stuff done, right? If you're not getting stuff done, then you're not going to be there for very long anyway. Because somebody eventually is going to be like, hey, I'm doing all this person's work. Why are we paying them something? You know? And unless they're Nepo, they're not going to last very long. That's your trouble. You can't take PTO because you need to get stuff done. I get that feeling entirely. I really do. I really do. Because it's like, and that's the problem too, right? It's like the more you get done, like, what's the old saying? The work expands to fill the time allotted, right? It's like the more you get done, the more they just give you, until it gets to a point where it's just like you're burning yourself out, and it's just like at some point you just gotta say like, nope, I am off. I am taking a vacation for myself. I don't care if the entire server room catches on fire. Don't call me. Don't call me unless the entire building is a pile of rubble. And even then, don't call me. My boss just told me that I'm taking Wednesday off. The reward for good work is more work. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. I mean, that's the way it always goes. Right? Which is, I mean, and that's always that's the thing I've always said to them was like, it's not bad to have more work. It's bad when all of your work is heroics, right? Like if everything you're doing is like saving this project from failure or saving that thing from failure or doing this or doing that, it sucks. But if everybody's helping each other out and pulling their own weight and, cares about what they're doing, then you don't really need those heroics so much, Yeah, it is. It really is. It really, really is exhausting. It's just, and part of me wonders if like some of these random pains I've been having are stress related, because I haven't been taking as much time off as I used to, or I should be doing. But, who knows? Who really knows at this point? Anyway, I am going to end there, my friends. I'm not going to, it's Monday, so there's probably no one to raid out to. Mondays tend to be a little bit quiet. So I'm going to stop there, my friends. But not before I say thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Tomorrow night, I think we'll be back in Planet Crafter. And then Wednesday night, I believe the Eden Crafter thing, the demo that we played where we got hit by a tidal wave, I believe that is coming into early access on Wednesday from what I saw on Steam. So I might pivot to playing that for, just for Wednesday at least. And then we'll be back to like eating to Planet Crafters at some point after that. And then Thursday, I think we'll be doing more Diablo 3. And Friday and Saturday, I should be back to doing some more coding. And then Saturday night and Sunday night, we'll just be doing random stuff. Whatever games I kind of feel like playing at the time. So that is where I'm at with that. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. I hope everyone has an excellent morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on what it is for you. And hope to see you back here again in the future for some more stuff, whatever happens to suit your fancy. Until then, see you, bye.
Who are you, and how did you get in here?
I'm a locksmith. And I'm a locksmith.